This is my new to me 2005 Forester XT. And no, I didn't sell my WRX. This is meant to be my new daily, and I bought it to replace my 2021 Crosstrek. The funny thing is, it's way more built out than my WRX is right now. Before we get into the nitty gritty of that, we need to figure out the complete condition of Emerald. Emerald runs and drives without any major issues, and the interior and exterior are in pretty decent condition. That being said, there's still some issues that are common with a 20-year-old car. Let me show you the most obvious things first. I'm normally not a fan of stickers on cars, and these are no exception. Because this is my daily driver, which includes occasional road trips, some light off-roading, and plowing through the snow, this ride height is unacceptable. It really is just too low. It's lower than my WRX right now. These are little handles that you can find on trains. Car enthusiasts in Japan would steal them off trains and put them on their cars. But I'm not a huge fan of the way that they look. The windshield is cracked and needs to be replaced. Luckily, I haven't been pulled over for it yet. Next, we're gonna get this thing over to Roy's Auto, where we can get it up on a lift and get a more comprehensive look of the current condition.
I'm Gavin, and today we're going to look at Grayson's Forester XT.
This thing is freaking low.
Before you do your whole inspection, the engine is sitting way lower than it should be, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
And then the power steering pump is like super loud, so like I think that's going out. Yeah, and then the piston ring is probably going out because it's burning oil like crazy.
It's very leak-free engine, very leak-free.
I think my car's also burning oil.
Here's our tranny dipstick. Fluid is very fresh, clean.
You got a lot of leaves in everywhere. Every nook and cranny up in here.
Well, from the top it looks fine. We can go up a bit and check suspension, tie rod play, wheel bearing noise. So we haven't looked, or at least I haven't looked under yet. Someone tried to roll.
Oh yeah, I think all the fenders are rolling. Here we're testing the tie rods to see if there's any play, and there is.
You put your hand on the strut, you spin the wheel. Feel any vibration, then it'll most likely be the wheel bearing. It's just a little bit. That's kind of the same thing. That's kind of worse.
Really?
Can you feel it when you do that?
Oh yeah, I feel that a lot more actually.
I think that side is lower.
What?
Yeah, I can barely fit my arm in here. If it's like soft or like bloated out, then you want to replace those.
Because it'll blow up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pry on this here ball joint, see if it goes clunkety bunk. Nope, good there. That axle's new. Give her a squeeze. Do that grease.
We're leaking a tiny bit. I mean, like small as you could possibly from your steering rack. It's the moisture. You look at this here ball joint boot. I don't know what it's doing. Somebody done goofed that one up.
This is the bushing for the steering rack?
It is, because over here it's fully seated. How did it blow up like that? I didn't need any steering rack bushings. Your turbo is missing a nut and a stud. So you need to leak there.
Oh, nice.
As for engine being mighty dry.
Yeah. So nothing's leaking, it's just burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, your rear main seal is even intact, surprisingly.
Maybe because the last guy that did it, he replaced the clutch and everything.
Oh yeah, he did.
So
oh, he did a good job then. You've got a random connector just hanging here, but that's for the O2 sensor. That's chopped over
right
here.
Those are like $90.
U-joint has a tiny bit of play. That one's good. She's firm. Your differential seal, she is grippy. And your axles are, you can start to see cracks. God, tickle it.
We were a little bit worried that the underneath was gonna look terrible, but surprisingly looks pretty good, especially for a 20-year-old car.
Yeah, I see why the engine is tilted. You can see how close they are to the exhaust.
Yeah.
They get really hot and they probably solidify. I'm sure they're collapsed by now.
I think like motor mounts need to be replaced probably.
Yeah, I would. Then your cam seal is leaking a little bit.
The exhaust is a point of interest, but first I want to check and see if it still has the factory up pipe. Looks like we do have an aftermarket up pipe, which is great because factory ones have cats in them and they usually blow up and destroy your turbo. So that's a nice little thing that I don't have to worry about. So this exhaust is actually for a 2002 WRX, which a lot of people don't know this, but the Forester is a little bit different. Like 03 to 05 Forester XT exhaust is different than a WRX. So it does technically fit, but it's not the correct exhaust. So we'll need to get that replaced. I don't think it affects the performance at all, but it doesn't look quite right. So what's your full diagnosis on this bad boy here?
It needs those inner tie rods, probably those lower ball joints would be wise. Rear axle seal, that's leaking plenty. Your rear axles, they're not leaking yet, so they'll be fine. They'll last you a lot longer. Probably those two exhaust studs missing on the turbo flange. Those are pretty important. The almighty flush.
As well as removing the stickers, adjusting the ride height, removing the Tsurikawa, replacing the windshield, motor mounts, power steering pump, piston rings, fixing the leaking steering rack, getting new bushings, a new O2 sensor, replacing the cam seal, and getting the correct exhaust.
But yeah, it's time to get to work.
We're going to start with new wheels and tires and OEM suspension.
I'm Gavin, and today we're gonna find everything that's wrong with Grayson's Forester XD. How's that?
Turn it on.
This here is the turbinator hooked up to the motor. Interesting. The whole time is interesting.
That's the only thing you say the whole time.
Interesting.
Replace the look at that.
Ooh. Get a taste of it real quick.
Let's bring her back down.